US President Donald Trump is threatening to destroy the small boats that the Iranians are using to mine the Strait of Hormuz.
Will begin the process of blockading any and all ships trying to enter or leave the Strait of Hormuz.
2:47 local time, Strait of Hormuz. The water is black glass under a moonless sky. A dow's lantern flickers near the Iranian coast. Fishermen pulling nets near Bandar Abbas hum old songs into the salt air. In 19 minutes, this stretch of sea transforms into a graveyard of steel. 42 Iranian vessels are about to make a run for open water. What unfolds next will redraw the map of naval power in the Persian Gulf. Picture it. The Strait of Hormuz, 21 nautical miles wide at its narrowest point. 20% of the world's oil flows through this corridor every single day. On the Iranian side, the IRGC Navy maintains a sprawling network of bases: Bandar Abbas, Bandar-e Jask, Keshim Island, Abu Musa. Fast attack craft, Hodong-class missile boats, Kilo-class submarines lurking in the deep channels, anti-ship missile batteries dug into the cliffs of the Zagros foothills. On the other side, in the warm waters off Bahrain, the United States Fifth Fleet sits at anchor and underway. The aircraft carrier USS Dwight D. Eisenhower steams in the Gulf of Oman with her strike group. Two Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, the USS Mason and the USS Carney, patrol the approaches. The amphibious assault ship USS Bataan holds station to the south. Above them all, an unbroken constellation of E-2D Hawkeyes, P-8 Poseidons, and MQ-4C Tritons paint the sea and sky in electromagnetic light. Imagine you're standing on the bridge of the Mason right now, coffee gone cold in your hand. The radar scope hums. Your sonar tech flicks his eyes between two screens. Everything looks routine. It isn't. Tehran has made a decision. A catastrophic one. For weeks, sanctions have tightened around the Iranian economy like a noose. Oil exports throttled. Foreign reserves frozen. The Supreme National Security Council has been meeting nightly in a hardened bunker beneath northern Tehran. The argument is the same every night: submit or break out. Tonight, they choose to break out. The plan is audacious. 42 vessels in 3 coordinated waves will surge from Iranian ports through the Strait of Hormuz and into the Gulf of Oman. The objective: shatter the unspoken blockade, demonstrate Iranian naval reach, and force the world to recognize Tehran's red line. 12 fast attack craft armed with Nor anti-ship missiles, 8 Hodong-class missile boats, 6 Kilo-class and Ghatar-class submarines, 16 swarm boats packed with explosives, intended as floating-shaped charges, 2 frigates, the Jamaran and the Sahand, leading the formation as flagships. In the command bunker, Admiral Tangsiri's deputy taps the digital map. He believes the plan is sound. He believes American rules of engagement will hesitate. He believes the sheer number of vessels will overwhelm Western targeting cycles. He believes that in the chaos of the strait, with civilian shipping packed cheek to jowl, the Fifth Fleet will not dare to fire. He believes a great many things tonight. But here's what they got wrong. The Iranian planners assumed their dispersed launches from multiple ports would mask the operation's scale until it was too late. They assumed their submarines, hugging the thermal layers near Keshim, were invisible. They assumed the strait's congested traffic would shield them. They built their entire concept on the idea that the Americans would react, not anticipate. They never accounted for the unblinking eyes already watching them. 3 Lacrosse-class radar imaging satellites had been tracking unusual activity at Bandar Abbas for 9 days. A pair of MQ-4C Triton drones, orbiting at 60,000 feet over the Gulf of Oman, had been cataloging every hull number, every propeller signature, every fuel loading schedule. SOSA-style underwater hydrophone arrays, quietly seated across the strait floor over the past decade, had already classified 4 of the 6 submarines by their unique acoustic fingerprints. Tehran thought they were planning a breakout. They were walking into a kill box. 0406 hours. The first wave casts off lines. Inside the Combined Air Operations Center at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, a young Air Force captain leans forward in her chair. Her screen has just lit up with 17 new surface contacts moving simultaneously from 4 separate Iranian ports. The pattern recognition AI tags the formation in 0.8 seconds. Probability of coordinated offensive operation, 97%. She doesn't hesitate. The flash message rockets up the chain. Within 90 seconds it lands in front of the 5th Fleet commander aboard his flagship in Manama. Within 3 minutes, it is on the desk of CENTCOM in Tampa. Within 5 minutes, the National Military Command Center in the Pentagon basement has the president on a secure line. The authorization comes back in language as cold as the Atlantic in winter. Defend, deter, dismantle. Battle stations. Across the 5th Fleet, klaxons howl. Sailors who were sleeping, eating, writing letters home, they sprint to their posts. On the Eisenhower, plane handlers in colored jerseys flood the flight deck. F divided by a -18E Super Hornets, fueled and armed with AGM-84 Harpoon and AGM-158C LRASM anti-ship missile, are pushed to the catapults. EA-18G Growlers spool up for electronic warfare escort. An E-2D Hawkeye is already airborne, its rotodome painting the strait in 360-degree clarity. You're in that cockpit now. Helmet down. Visor lit with targeting cues. Your wingman taxis behind you. You feel the catapult shuttle lock into place. You don't have time to be afraid. You have a job. 0419 hours. The Iranian first wave clears the territorial waters and accelerates toward the central strait. Sahand and Jamaran lead, throwing white wakes against the dark water. Behind them, 12 fast attack craft fan out in a deadly bouquet. The plan calls for them to launch a saturation volley of Noor missiles, Iranian copies of the Chinese C-802, at the Mason and Carney from inside 50 miles. They never get the chance. Aboard the Mason, the Aegis combat system has already classified every contact. The SBY-1D radar tracks 140 separate returns simultaneously. The fire control solution paints itself onto the captain's display in glowing yellow tracks transitioning to red. He gives the order with 2 words: weapons free. The Mark 41 vertical launch system cells erupt in white flame. SM-2 Block IIC missiles streak skyward, arc over, and accelerate toward the Iranian fast attack craft at Mach 3.5. From the Carney, 4 Harpoon missiles ripple launch from the deck-mounted canisters, hugging the wave tops at 50 feet, leaving rooster tails of spray. The first Iranian boat is bracketed by 2 SM-2s in 7 seconds. The detonation throws a column of orange fire 200 feet into the night sky. The second boat tries to turn. It doesn't matter. A Harpoon catches it amidships. The hull splits like a cracked egg. 3 down. 39 to go. Now the Super Hornets arrive. 8 of them, fanning across the strait in a coordinated kill chain. Each carrier 4 RASMs, the AGM-158C, autonomous, networked, ruthless. The missiles are released at 60 miles. They drop, ignite their turbojets, and begin hunting independently. Each missile selects its own target from the tactical picture, communicates with its siblings, and prosecutes the engagement without further human input. Could you make that call? Releasing weapons that hunt by themselves? This is the modern Navy. This is what 20 years of doctrine and engineering have built. In the water below, the Iranian Hodon-class boats fire back. 18 Noor missiles climb away from their launch rails. For a heartbeat, the strait is laced with intersecting white trails, American missiles going east, Iranian missiles going west. The Iranian shots never reach their targets. RIM 162 evolved Sea Sparrows spit from the Mason's launchers. Phalanx CWS mounts on the Carney spin up to 4,500 rounds per minute, throwing a wall of tungsten downrange. The Noor missiles disintegrate in mid-flight, one after another. 18 launched. 18 splashed. 0 impacts. For every one of theirs, 10 of ours. The math is merciless. Below the surface, the Iranian submarines are no luckier. The Eisenhower's accompanying Virginia-class attack submarine, the USS Vermont, has been tracking them for 6 hours. Her sonar suite resolved the Kilo-class hulls before they ever cleared their pens. Now, with weapons release authorized, she fires. Mark 48 Mod 7 ADCAP heavyweight torpedoes streak through the dark water at 55 knots. The lead Iranian Kilo never even hears the incoming weapon until the seeker pings its hull. The detonation breaches the pressure vessel cleanly. The submarine is gone in 90 seconds. 2 more Iranian boats die in the next 4 minutes. The remaining 3 try to bottom out, hiding in the silt of the strait floor. P-8 Poseidons orbiting overhead drop sonobuoy fields the size of football stadiums. The submarines are pinned. Each is dispatched in turn by torpedoes from helicopters and fast movers vectored in from the Bataan. 6 submarines. 6 confirmed kills. 0438 hours. 19 minutes into the engagement. The Iranian command bunker has gone silent. Their plan has not just failed, it has been erased in real time, faster than they can update their displays. The deputy admiral stares at a tactical map full of blinking red icons that mark his own dead vessels. He picks up a phone. There is no one on the other end with good news. Now comes the response. Doctrine is clear. When American sailors are fired upon, the United States does not merely defend. It dismantles the capability that made the attack possible. From the Eisenhower, a second wave of strike aircraft launches. 12 more Super Hornets. 4 F-35C Lightning IIs from the embarked Marine Fighter Squadron, their stealth profiles slicing into Iranian airspace before any S-300 battery can lock them. From the destroyers, Tomahawk Block V missiles ripple out of the VLS cells, 48 of them in the first salvo. From AB-52H Stratofortress orbiting over the Arabian Sea, 20 AGM-158B Jassim Yar cruise missiles are dropped, each one autonomous, stealthy, and precise to within a meter. The targets are not random. They were selected years ago. Bandar Abbas Naval Base. The RGC Navy Headquarters at Bandar-e Jask. The submarine pens at Keshem Island. The Noor Missile Production Facility at Parchin. The radar stations on Abu Musa and the Tums. The command bunker beneath the Tangsiri compound. Fuel depots. Communications nodes. Air defense radars. The entire architecture that enabled tonight's attack is methodically marked for destruction. Picture the strikes from above. Dozens of small white blossoms erupting along the Iranian coast in a precise rhythm. Not a battle. Not a punishment. A surgical removal of capability. The IRGC Navy is being unmade brick by brick, hull by hull, sensor by sensor. The F-35CS penetrate deepest. Their pilots, helmet-mounted displays painting the night in green clarity, drop GBU-53/B Stormbreaker glide bombs onto hardened aircraft shelters and missile storage bunkers. Each Stormbreaker is a 40-mile autonomous weapon that selects its own target from a pre-loaded library. The pilots barely need to look at their bomb release switches. The aircraft does the math. The aircraft kills. Above them, an unblinking constellation of satellites records every detonation, feeding battle damage assessment imagery into Tampa within minutes. Targets are checked off a list. Res struck if necessary. Confirmed when destroyed. 0529 hours. 1 hour and 42 minutes after the first Iranian line was cast off. It is over. Let's tally it. 42 Iranian vessels left port. 2 reached open water, both crippled, both surrendering on radio in broken English, both being escorted to Qasab in Oman by American helicopters. The other 40 are on the bottom of the strait or burning at their moorings. 6 submarines destroyed. Both frigates destroyed. 12 fast attack craft destroyed. 8 missile boats destroyed. 16 swarm boats destroyed. On the Iranian mainland, 11 major military facilities are reduced to smoking craters. 3 air defense radar networks have ceased to exist. The Noor missile production line at Parchin will not build another anti-ship missile for at least 3 years. The IRGC Navy command structure has lost an estimated 70% of its operational leadership in a single night. American losses. 0 ships sunk. 0 aircraft lost. 3 sailors injured by flying debris from a CWS engagement, all returned to duty within hours. 1 hour and 42 minutes. Less time than a single feature film. In that span, a navy that had been built over 40 years was dismantled. A strategic doctrine, the idea that the Strait of Hormuz could be closed at Tehran's command, was disproven not by argument but by demonstration. Here is the lesson. Modern naval warfare is not about courage. It is not about hull counts. It is not about who fires first. It is about who sees first, who decides first, who networks fastest, and who has built the layered, integrated, automated kill chain that turns observation into outcome in seconds rather than hours. The Iranian fleet was not defeated by American sailors firing back. It was defeated by 20 years of system integration, by satellites and submarines and software talking to each other before any human ordered them to. Tehran wanted to prove a point about reach. They proved a different point, about the gap between aspiration and capability in 21st century warfare. The Strait of Hormuz did not close tonight. It will not close tomorrow. The blockade did not break. The fleet that tried to break it ceased to exist. So here is the question I want you to sit with. When the gap between two militaries becomes this wide, is deterrence even possible anymore? Or does overwhelming superiority paradoxically make miscalculation more likely, because the weaker side cannot believe the stronger side will actually use what it has? What does this reveal about future conflicts? Let's discuss in the comments. Subscribe for more strategic analysis.